Good morning, Sharks.
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning. I'm Kevin Stadler. I'm the CEO of Evolon Technology, presenting Evolon Verify this morning for your consideration. So Evolon Verify is a central station optimization solution that links to the Immix console. It was built by security industry professionals that have decades of experience working with all sorts of things from military to law enforcement to central monitoring, and a development team that uses very state-of-the-art algorithms. It basically eliminates false alarms so that operators can focus on real events. It takes in video, does object recognition on the video and classification real time, presents it back to the operator. So the instant an object is identified that is at the threshold that the user defines, you immediately get back the response of what is going on. So for most monitoring systems, false alarms constitute, and I don't need to tell the three of you, false alarms constitute over 70% of the events that are reviewed. So the real question here in many ways is, what could you do if you could eliminate those, and what would it mean in business terms? So what we've seen in many cases is false alarms take anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds to review, and the real-time cost is anywhere from 2 cents to 30 cents. Let me give you kind of a real-world example of one, and let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, so this is a real monitoring center, and this is on an average day, averaged over 3 to 4 weeks worth of activity. And as you can see, spikes are large and periodic, which is what you're used to. The question would be, how many of these are false? So in this instance, which is what has been our experience, over 70% of those in that time frame are false. So those are the ones in red. The next question is, if you could eliminate those falses, what would that mean to you in terms of your time, monitoring, center expense, and so forth? Left-hand picture is natural, what you normally see. Right-hand picture shows you what happens when you remove those. And you can see there's about a 50% reduction in alarm traffic that people have to focus on. So it allows them to change what they're focusing on. In the operator console, it's very obvious to them in terms of saying how many alarms, how many have been verified, and what is the most important ones in the queue. They get to see in the queue the object, it's focused, and it tells you what the percentage is of what that object recognition is. A few additional features in it are everything from setting camera settings, masks. You can look at different clips, you can download them, you can upload them, and you can see how it actually tracks the person. Very easy to activate. All you've got to do is turn it on in the Immix console, and the system is live and detecting those objects using the AI.
That's 3 minutes.
Okay. Do I have just a few more? But let me just summarize in the end with what's going on. So basically what we'd say is the following. It reduces risk by focusing on just real-time events, increases operator satisfaction by taking a lot of the mundane tasks away, pays for itself in just a few days a month, and you don't have to pay for what you need, increases operational management and visibility via some of the things you're seeing here with diagnostic and health check, and allows for flexibility to pay for risk profiles and what your organization is set up as. Easy to use, as you can see, and it's extendable out to the camera by bundling in edge analytics. So that's basically the program and what is there. I'd open it up to you, Sharks, for any questions you might have.
So I'm going to defer the first line of questioning to a way more subject matter expert in the Shark Tank than I am, and that would be Mr. Few in this category. When I hear your 3-minute presentation, to the uninitiated, their reaction would be, well, why wouldn't everybody use this?
It's a great question, and I'd say the quick answer would be, number one, it's a disruptive business process. You're used to having an operator review things and go through it and so forth. And many of the operators we work with, it kind of changes their world. Their immediate reaction is they kind of want to see everything and see what's going on. So it takes a little while for trust to be built. Once they see that the system is active and working, they like it. In the words of somebody who is a very experienced operator, they said once they've gotten used to it, they love it because it only focuses them on real-time things, makes their job much easier, allows them to look for additional things in high-risk situations. So it gives them more time rather than immediately just kind of playing, in essence, whack-a-mole. But initial adoption, because it's a new technology, always a little bit slower because people have to look at it and see it. But it's an excellent point. You would think with both operator efficiency as well as time and expense reduction as well as reduced risk, it makes good sense.
Thank you, Kevin. And Steve, thanks for the pressure and and also the disclaimer that says on this specific topic, right? For this category, appreciate it. Kevin, thank you for your presentation. Being a central station guy, I mean, we love this. I mean, my company GMS is talking with your company all the time. To Steve's point, yeah, everybody wants to do this for two things. One, operator efficiency, and two, alarm fatigue. The scariest thing I've got running a central station is operators are just watching video go by, and to your point, 70% of the items are false. They might miss something. I love that this technology is coming in. I love that it's disrupting. I don't know that it's a disruptor, right? Because in disruptor, we're thinking like it's gonna put people on edge. I think this is a huge benefit to the video monitoring, especially when we start talking about other things with reducing false alarms overall and video's impact. My questions are on cost and liability. First one is, what does it cost? And is it set up to be resold by the central station individually or just to go over everywhere?
So it can be resold individually, or you can apply it to all of what you have. One of the things that we do up front is we do 2 weeks as a free trial. You can just turn everything on, we run it through. Benefit of that is we actually produce out for you a diagnostic, and we say, okay, here's how many falses you got, here's how many real, here's what your volume is. And then in addition, we work with you on kind of the business metrics. We show you that diagnostic. We say, look, at an operation size of X number of people, you still need to have them there. They still need to, call the police. They still need to react. So there is only a certain number of volume that you may want to filter out in order to make it cost effective for you. In other words, it may not make sense for you to pay for 100% of your falses all out because of the size of what it takes in cost to do it. So we actually scale it based upon what you want and your risk assessment of your client. Some people we've seen said, I want to be at a lower percentage because I'm running a very cost-effective operation. I've got X number of operators running, and I want to be at a lower cost. So we've seen costs go down to as low as a couple of dollars per camera. And if they use full capability and want absolutely everything scrubbed and looked at, we size up the environment. It's the beauty of having a cloud environment with object recognition. So we work with you to actually scale up and say, what do we need? What's the costing? What's the package that makes sense with you? And in addition, if you've got things like, for sake of argument, remote centers and lots of remote cameras and lots of data transmission, we'll even work with you on putting some edge analytics out there to reduce your traffic. So very consultative approach, very much working directly with you on what your program is for your clients and how you run your operation.
Okay. My follow-up is, I'm sure that your software is, as perfect as it can be as far as, distinguishing between a person and a paper plate or a car and a balloon. But what happens to the non-verified events? Because that'll come up, right? So something eventually will get missed. Every time we build a trap, the mouse gets smarter. So, where do those events go, and what do you think what is your perceived liability against that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So object recognition and artificial intelligence basically, as you correctly surmised, is it looks at things in terms of detection thresholds. So it looks at models of things like cars, vehicles, forklifts, somebody on a motorcycle, or you name it. And it matches that against the pattern that it's seeing inside of the video. So as it detects it, it basically throws it back. If there is a non-detected, it also throws it back. It tells you, this is not something we saw anything, but you should review it. It basically throws it just slightly lower down in the queue and says, here's all the things that are immediate and important. Here's ones you should look at. In addition, if there are quote unquote things that it doesn't know that it looks at, so somebody in a clown suit with a fistful of balloons, we can actually train the system to start looking for those things. So it gets better and better over time. We've already, in the months that we've been operating, improved the object models and tuned them based upon what people have seen in different situations. So it constantly gets better as it goes through. But at the same time, net is an operator has to review these and look at, is that something which is important in the situation? Because we're basically scrubbing you, telling there's objects identified and so forth. So I would tell you, yes, you still have to have a human operator, which is watching what's going on. We're making it more efficient. But at the same time, yes, if there are object recognitions that are well below, and this is why we allow you to set it, sometimes you may say a 30% object verification on a human in a certain scene next to an ATM in a certain pose is really important. But in other situations, you might be in an apartment complex where you say, don't really care unless I get to 70 to 80% threshold. So we allow you kind of those dials and knobs to approach your situation and mask it. So yes, there is that situation, but ultimately we would say you need to decide how you want to tune it, how you want to work with it.
But I have to look at everything anyway.
Yeah, you will look at everything, but probably in a very different format, and probably as usual, if you get a bunch of things coming in at once you trust the system and the environments that it's in, you're basically just going to take a quick pop over to look at them and then move on.
Thank you.
And I was going to ask, I was trying to understand who's the ideal use case that you're going after. So it's end users who've got cameras that don't have those features on board already. So then how are they using most of the systems that are actually out there?
Yeah, so it's a great question because every monitoring center, every operation is slightly different in terms of how they choose to deploy, meaning that some people choose to use less expensive cameras but scrub more or have operators look at more as it goes through. Others choose to use cameras that have motion detection and more analytics on the front end. What we see is that within the environment we look at, we basically say, look, if you've got less expensive cameras and you need to scrub them as it goes through, you probably would use something like the object recognition. On the other hand, you may have an operation that we talked about before, which is remote, might be critical infrastructure of some sort that's remote, but it doesn't have good data transmission. You might want to move and put some motion analytics on that. We do have products that are camera agnostic. We can put them on low-end to high-end cameras to be able to do that. But it's the combination of understanding what your risk profile and what you want to do out there. So the use cases that we've seen so far are quite numerous. Everything from car lots to retail to residential to apartment complexes to, quite frankly, we do a lot of work with, let's just call them highly secure military installations and government facilities and so forth. So each one's slightly different, and that's why we have such a different set of being able to tune and work with you on it. We'll give you a standard set, and then we'll work with you. There's a quarterly business review we do with you. So we actually look at all your stats and analytics and which cameras are good and bad and so forth, and then make a recommendation to you quarterly on things you might consider. Totally at your option on whether you want to do them or not do them and whether you want to use our products or somebody else's.
How many seconds does it add to a typical, how much processing time does it take before an operator who's otherwise sitting there waiting for it, but by the time they first see a verified clip, how much time has elapsed?
So I would say it's somewhat, it's a depends, and I'll tell you why it's a depends. Let's say for sake of argument that you had your object threshold set to 30%, on, as soon as I hit 30% within it, it'll snap it back to you in less than seconds. I mean, it's immediate. But let's say on the other hand, you had it set in certain situations to be 95% threshold on human and so forth. It's going to take a little bit more time to look at it to verify 100% that it's capturing everything. The object is exactly what you want to see and so forth. Pops it back. It's still, we're not talking minutes. We're talking, still seconds, but it's not snap immediate as it would be on a lower threshold with an immediate object. If that's a good video clip, very apparent what's going on, it's going to snap it back to you instantly. We do have situations with low light, fog, weather that we've got. We scrub those out and also do that very efficiently and quickly. But the answer is it's relatively fast. But again, all depends on the camera, the threshold, and what you're there. But you're literally talking about seconds, far faster than an operator would be able to kind of look at it and say, here's what's going on.
And that's time.
I do have one more question. The product was introduced when?
So the product was introduced roughly in March, April of this year, but we've been going very heavy on onboarding and operation within the last month and a half. So it's just been active for roughly less than 6 months.
And how many central stations or otherwise direct sales to end users perhaps are using the product?
So currently what we've got in our total queue is in the neighborhood of about 40 different companies, and the minimal cameras are probably a couple of hundred up to certain of these operations have several thousand cameras.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.